Everybody, Tommy G here. Um, Flying solo today. Pete's not going to be. Pete's on a different flight out. Has some business here on the East Coast. I don't know what, but I'm doing economy Southwest back towards what's it called? So it looks like I've got desktop audio and the flight going twice here. So hopefully this doesn't double up. But anyway, yeah, making our taxi out of Baltimore, which is funny because literally right now, as I record this, my in-laws are flying back from the East Coast, and they laid over in Baltimore, and they are literally flying out of this airport right now as we speak. So I've never actually been to Baltimore in real life, to the city or the airport. So taking my first look at it here from a coach flight on Southwest economy. But I like Southwest. It's good. It's a good carrier. I mean, the only thing is that, yeah, if you were flying on regular occasion and your company was paying for it, you wouldn't really want the whole like, okay, you got to grab a line and find a seat. You'd want somebody to pick a seat for you so you knew where you're at. But anyway, so not a great trip in town here to Baltimore. We were hoping for much better. I was excited to be playing Peril Point. It's the first time we've seen that new stadium, and it was against a team that we had beat earlier in the season, the Baltimore Jacks, and I think we beat them pretty well when they came to visit us in Dallas. We came here, thought we'd make a game of it. I mean, the last time I was thinking of another conference team when we faced the Sawteeth. We went out to San Jose, beat them out there, and then they came to visit us, and we beat them again. So I was hoping for some of the sort of the same uh, outcome here for the Jacks, but it was not. It was like the second really bad loss in 3 games. So it's a little concerning. You know, as soon as we tip into the second half of the season, when we're as a club we're trying to ramp things up. You know, instead of down, we want to. You know, was thinking, okay, make some tweaks, a little course correction here, and try and set ourselves on a playoff path, and then we get that. What the heck? Exactly the opposite. And not just beat. I mean, and Pete and I say this before too. You get beat, that's fine. You know, it's back and forth. It's a battle, and we enjoy that. And we actually, you know, if you won every game, you'd be like, this is too easy. There's something wrong with we're trying to get the difficulty level set where it's a challenge. But when you get completely handcuffed and just left laying, you know, in a pile, it's like, what is that? There was no escaping that. We couldn't seem to do anything. Couldn't get out from under their thumb. And against a team that's like, okay, you know, we're playing another team that's somewhere around 500, about like us. You know, a similar record. So how could a team with a similar record, similar offense and stuff like we have one of the best offenses in the league. If you look at our batting averages, we're leading the league. Like the first 4 highest batting averages, over 400. We got 4 of those guys. But we're having a real issue as of late. We're holding up here waiting for clearance on our runway to go out. Even with those batting averages, we're getting some of those guys are getting on base, and then whoever's behind them is sort of leaving them flat. But we're kind of excited. We did finally make a change right after the halfway mark. We picked up, what the heck? Like there was a plane there, didn't it? one of those glitchy things. We picked up a new player. We waited a long time, but we finally decided to part ways with Jet Dapper. Set him to free agency, and picked up Mitch Berry, who's now, we're going to push back in our seat and outbound for takeoff. I'll talk in a minute here once we get off the ground. I even like their paint scheme. Pretty nice paint scheme. We head back to Dallas. We got 2 games back at home again before we hit the road for a little while, so it'd be nice to have a couple at home. Um, take off an immediate turn left here. Outbound from the East Coast. On our way back to Dallas. Climbing out. And then you get to that part where you're supposed to level off slightly. And they pull the flaps up and it feels like a little bit of zero gravity. You kind of float up in your seat a bit. Hear the turbofans grinding back there, but looks like nice weather day here in the Baltimore area. So I was saying Mitch Berry, a new addition to our team, is not going to play in this next game. He'll play 2 games out, actually. So his first game will be a home game. There's a baseball field out there just by the engine cell. And he'll be playing his first game at home in Corral in Dallas against the Hawaii Nemesis, and that's another conference team where we play them twice a season, and that hasn't gone well for us. Well, I guess no, I should say the Sawteeth went well. So, but they're going to want to even the scores, so we got to be careful there. But it'll be good to see Mitch Berry throw. Could use his arm. He's now the best pitcher on the team. That's crazy. But we're gonna have our work cut out for us. So we've got some pitchers who are gassed. We had actually, Tobias Glover took one on the face here, and now he's injured. And now we're going with our Fernando Beefy. Our relievers are gassed. After that, we have some tired relievers, so we need Beefy to go long in this game, and give the other relievers time to rest. I don't know what we're going to do there. We might want to start considering the possibility of looking at some additional relievers. I know we had the management had some starred looking at it for potentially picking somebody up later season. We might want to take a closer look at that. But other than that, the team goes, we're still suffering from low speed. I was talking with Pete, and he was saying we need speed everywhere. He keeps talking about Noah McLean, and he's got a point. Noah McLean is he's slow at shortstop, but he's offensively dominant, and that's kind of a problem we have. We got a lot of guys who are good hitters and really slow, and even they'll take a great crack at the ball, but if it's on the ground, sometimes they don't make it out, and it's just painful to watch them get thrown out at first when they should have enough speed to get there. And then the outfield is where I really feel it, because they hit the ball into the gaps, and we watch these outfielders just lumber along after. And it's like, come on, they're good. Where they should hold them up at first, they're getting a second. Where they should hold it at a double, they're getting a triple. It's just really rough stuff. But it's something we're going to have to deal with. We're going to have a shorter first section here, as we're about to switch programming, and then we will pick you back up on our approach into Dallas, where we'll pick you back up into Dallas, and we will talk about the next game in just a moment here. Be right with you in just a minute. All right, we're making our descent into the Dallas area after a pretty uneventful flight on out, getting things straightened away, getting things packed up, getting ready to be home for a couple games. 2 games at home is essentially a week for us. Good to be back at home in Dallas for a week, and we got 2 big games coming up. We got these Swordfish coming into town, and then the Nemesis, so those will be big. The Swordfish, that was, I believe, was our first game of the season. It was our first away game. Can't recall where we started off. But I remember if you look back, the first travel series was actually driving. I used American Truck Sim, drove from Dallas down to Houston, flew out of Houston to San Juan and back, and we beat them there. It was pretty good. A small park they play out at Castillo Arena. That's another new stadium we got to see this season. So it's fun to be there. It's fun to win there. So we're hoping to put 2 straight on them, and now they're going to be here in the Corral, and I love playing the Corral. Although I don't know if we've had. I'll have to take a look. I don't have the schedule here in front of me to see what our outcomes were, but I don't know if we fared better at home or on the road. But I do love the Corral. I like playing in the Corral. I think it's a good home stadium. Good place to go and to be for half of our games, which in a 40, what do we know? What are we at? We're at a 38 game season. So we got 19 games at home in that same building, so that's nice. But yeah, so these swordfish are coming in town. They're on the uptick. The swordfish. They started off really fairly poorly. And that whole division has had a losing record except for the top team. But they've turned things around really considerably of late. In fact, I think a lot of them are locked in. So that's challenging. You know, here we're on kind of a slide and they're on a climb. So it's not where we wanted to be meeting these guys up for this next game tomorrow afternoon. But we'll give it our best. Like I said, I think we need a longer than somewhat of a long start by Beefy, and then we'll have to bring in, I don't know, Bowers or Yuppers, I don't know who. But hopefully they're not too gassed, and we're probably going to have to go with Twist at some point in the game too, because we're going to need 3 pitchers to get out of it. But yeah, two real bad losses in 3 games. Really struggling. Now we upped our difficulty by one, and are losing really badly, and I don't understand that necessarily. Again, the biggest thing is we're dominating in hitting. You've never seen a team that has so many 400 plus batting averages on it. So that's pretty unrealistic, and we needed to make that more difficult and get, a little more difficult to hit. We're all for that, but the pitching and the defense we just have none. I was saying to Pete before, I think we mentioned it on our flight out there, that it's just funny that the games we win are games we just have massive amounts of runs, and the other team scores a bunch almost every time. And I don't know what that is exactly. I mean, Pete says it's pitching, and it very well may be. We had real solid pitching in Phoenix. The B-Wolves had really good pitching, so it was we got comfortable having a couple pitchers actually in the running for strikeouts for the season. Some great ERAs. Really, dropping batters, lots of Ks, eight strikeouts on average on a game. They're just not average, but sometimes you'd see six to 9 regularly. So it was great to see that. We didn't have these kind of batting averages, but we'd hold other teams off the board often. So we got kind of used to that. This is a different club out here in Dallas. And it's something to get used to, but we don't see the dominating games. Now I think we have 1 or 2 of our pitchers are in the running. I think we have 1 or 2 of the strikeout running, somewhere up there on the board. So we're getting some Ks, but the ERAs aren't quite as impressive. So we could use some more pitching. But elsewhere, I think again for me, I think if I had to guess, Pete, and of course I don't have him on the flight here, but if I had to guess for Pete, and this is kind of a neat looking approach into Dallas here, you get to see sort of the southeastern edges of Dallas, because we're coming in from, or no, wait, we're coming in from the northeast. Yeah, so if we're coming in from the northeast, that's looking down toward the southeast. So we're coming in on the northeast approach, and you start to see a lot of these inland lakes. There's a lot of lakes around Dallas if you've never flown in there. Used to be a shallow seabed out here, which is one of the reasons you get so much oil in Texas. There was a lot of sea life and seashore, tropical seashore type of plant life that's now been compressed over many millennia. Anyway, I digress. So yeah, so anyway, I even lost my train of thought. I was talking about the pitchers. Oh yeah, so I think Pete is looking at Noah McLean for lack of defense, and I would say that's somewhat fair, but I think, I mean, if I was looking at the infield, I was honest about the infield. I'd say that Sprague Bellamy is not a great third baseman. He's okay. I've seen him drop a lot of balls that came his way that he should have probably fielded. That but when we were in, I don't want to compare us too much to the Beagles, but when we were in Phoenix, Bertha Banks would have grabbed those. A lot of other third basemen would grab him. He drops a few, doesn't quite get to him in time. Great hitter, and he's put him, and that's the problem we have too. We get these guys who are great hitters. If we want to get a better fielder, we're going to give up some of that offensive power. But maybe that's something we do. I mean, you're managing a club. Not everyone you pick up is going to be an offensive move. Here we are. Here's we're showing from the northeast kind of how we're coming in. I could zoom in a little bit. Here's this chain of lakes, and right after we cross over these lakes, you'll start to see a little bit more urban sprawl or suburban sprawl. That's right, because we're coming into Dallas Love Field. You can see Dallas Fort Worth, or at least you saw it on the left there. And Love Field is a little closer into the skyline. So that's where Southwest is flying out of. Anyway, well, I think they fly out of, I don't know if they fly out of DFW. They maybe just fly out of Love Field. Anyway, again, losing the train of thought. At my age, this happens more often. This is looking towards the west, or the camera's facing toward the west as the plane comes in from the northeast. And here we are in our approach, and you can start to see Dallas off there. Yeah, you're starting to see some of the buildings in the distance. Got about 7 minutes left until we gotta unplug. We'll be on the ground, leveling off here looks like we're about 3,000 feet. So anyway, so, I mean, we could pick up players just for defensive moves. We would lose some offense, but we don't need that much offense anyway. We can give up an offensive player to get a really good defensive player. Still be fine on offense. We have it in spades. We're extreme contact specialists, so we could be contact specialists, But again, my thinking is in the outfield is where we lack the most. I don't think you can give up someone like a Swindle Heath, who's he's a good left fielder and a dominant offensive player. He's just slow, but he's good. If it's nearby him, he's good at it. Kid Paul, not quite as good of a fielder. Good offense, but maybe someone else you're looking at. In right field, that's where we've got Kaylee Lancaster, and I forget who normally plays right field. But right field might be, I don't know, but the ball's always going in the left center field. Maybe center fielder or right fielder is someone we look at. I don't know. We need to do something about our speed, something about our defense, and maybe something about our pitching. And that's a lot of things. But this is a good team. Still have a winning record at this point. But if we want to make this a playoff team, I don't think we could do it with this roster, even after picking up Mitch Berry. We're gonna have to see. We got our flaps coming down now. Pretty soon, I think we're gonna make our left. We're gonna make a left bank towards the airfield because we're coming in toward the southeast, and then I think we end up landing towards. No, we're coming in towards the southwest, and I think we end up landing towards the southeast. So I think we make a left bank up here pretty soon. But yeah, it's exciting to get into the back half of the season here. It's always good to be home in Dallas for a couple. This after we play these next two home games, we've got a lot of road games. We only have really, I think, a couple home games interspersed. We're on the road for 3 after these next 2. We come home for 1, then we're on the road for 5, I think. And then I think we come home for 1 or 2, on the road again for like, I forget how many, on the road and then home again. So I think I don't know, I'll have to look at it. I'll have to look at our schedule. This may be our last home stand where we have multiple home games in a row. I think from now on, I could be wrong, but from now on, I think we'll come back in town for a game and then head back out again. So that's going to be taxing. It'll be a lot of flying for Pete and I if we're able to keep these up. This does take time to produce these videos. Here I'm doing this by myself actually because I have a little bit of free time. But and hopefully you like these. It looks like we get about as many views for these as we do for the baseball. So, I mean, it's possible that the people who are watching the baseball are also watching this, but there's probably people that come and check in for Aerofly as well, and they're just like, what's this guy droning on about? Baseball. I never even heard of these baseball teams. They're fictional. And they are, but it's still fun. We're making a right bank. I thought we had a bank left. Are we a little low? We're about 1,000 feet off. So yeah, kind of low res. In close, that would be a highway. The mostly brown there is a highway, and then these would all be little side roads, and roads in between some of those different grade areas. But this is at least a 4, if not a 6-lane highway. A lot of homes clustered in here. But yeah, I do think we still make a left turn towards the runway, but I don't know. Maybe we land towards the southwest. We'll find out in a minute. I'm showing a little more than 2 minutes left in the flight. Yeah, so wish us luck against those swordfish. So close out the conference thing. We got this is interesting. This season we've got for divisional, and we're in a tough division. That's just it too. We need to win big because this division, even though we got a winning record, I think we're last place. Even with the winning record, it's a tough division. It's a close division. So we really need to battle to stay in it and keep those playoff hopes alive. It's entirely possible the wild card comes out of our division, and half of our division ends up making the playoffs. All right, it looks like we're landing toward the southwest because we haven't banked at all. We're coming in for final approach. Here's like a little park or something. It was a tough division, but this is the first time this season one of our divisional rivals, the Chicago Crocodons, we actually played them 4 times. The only time we played one team 4 times in a season. And we played them 2 straight games here in Dallas already. And a little bit later here in the second half, we end up going to Chicago after going to Colorado. We go to Chicago for 2 games at Whacker Wheel. So it'll be nice to play 2 games out there as well. Interesting, you got a approach path right over some high power voltage lines there. And a nearby road. And here we're at the airfield finally. All right, we're back home in Dallas. And so thanks for making this trip with us. And we will see you out at the ballpark very soon. That swordfish will be 2 here at home, and then we'll hit the road back again or somewhere else. I can't recall where it is. Why am I drawing a blank? I want to say Philadelphia? Maybe? I don't know. This is weird. This is a runway that's not listed on the thing. All right, so we're gonna just pretend like that didn't happen. We're gonna turn here onto this runway. You can see in the distance there's that runway back there. I guess it's not rendered out, but here we're gonna taxi on over. All right, folks. So thanks for watching, and we will catch you back at the ballpark. Until then, this is Tommy G, and it's just Tommy G. Bye now.